I'm not a gold digger. I went out and I made something of myself.
Anna Nicole Smith was in love with her lawyer Howard K. Stern until the very end.
She was my best friend, my lover, the mother of my daughter. She's everything to me, literally everything, the whole world.
But things weren't as simple as that. A few years after Anna Nicole's passing, some shocking allegations were raised against him, including that he may have been involved in the tragedy. So what's the real truth behind those allegations? Was Howard actually in love with Anna Nicole? Or did he have an ulterior motive for getting together with her? And what is Howard up to now, years after everything went down? Anna Nicole and Howard met back in the 90s, and at first nobody suspected that they would eventually end up together. Anna Nicole actually hired Howard as her attorney at first. This was after she got into some legal trouble after her husband, J. Howard Marshall, passed away. She was expecting to inherit part of his estate, which was worth billions of dollars, but it turned out that she was left out of the will and her ex's family didn't want to actually give her anything. So Anna Nicole decided to sue them, and she hired Howard to represent her in the case. The two of them worked together for years since the inheritance case was complicated and was taking a really long time. But over the course of that time, Anna Nicole and Howard grew closer and closer. And as a side effect of that, he went from just a regular attorney to someone who was actually in the public eye. Anna Nicole even made him a regular on her show, the Anna Nicole Show, in the early 2000s. And the two of them kept hanging out together and building their relationship even outside of that. Come 2006, this hadn't changed and they were closer than ever before. But at that point, Anna Nicole's life started falling apart. Things were looking pretty good at first. She was pregnant with her second child and she was spending the summer in the Bahamas. But soon everything took a dark turn. Just a few days after Anna Nicole gave birth to her daughter, her son Daniel came to visit her in the hospital. He was already 20 years old at that point because Anna Nicole had him with her first husband when she was just 19 years old. It was supposed to be a nice visit to his mom and his newborn sister, but sadly, Daniel was actually struggling with some issues involving substances. And during his visit, he ended up accidentally taking too much and he passed away from an OD. Of course, Anna Nicole was completely crushed. She lost her first child just days after giving birth to her second. And losing a child would be enough on its own, but it also happened when she was in a super vulnerable state after having just given birth. It was all just too much, and that was the moment Howard swooped in. It's not clear how exactly everything happened, but only a couple of weeks after Daniel passed away, Howard and Anna Nicole got married. They were still in the Bahamas and it was a small ceremony, and back then nobody really knew why they suddenly got married. I mean, they hadn't even been officially together up until the news about their marriage broke out. There was speculation about the nature of their relationship though. They just didn't comment on it, and in hindsight it seems like there must have been something going on. Most importantly, because when her daughter Danny Lynn was born, Anna Nicole claimed that Howard was her father. She even gave Danny Lynn his surname Stern, and I personally find it hard to believe that she would do that if she and Howard hadn't been dating for at least a couple of months beforehand. Maybe she hoped that the two of them and Danny Lynn could make a happy family together, but of course we know now that that's not where things ended up going. Anna Nicole passed away just a few months later in February 2007, but who knows how things would have gone if she hadn't. Did Howard actually love her and want to be with her, or was there something different going on behind the scenes? After her passing, he became involved in two different high-profile legal cases related to her. The first was of course the custody battle over baby Danny Lynn, because although Anna Nicole claimed that Howard was her father, there were other people who had a different opinion on that, namely her ex-boyfriend Larry Burkhead, who came forward saying that he was actually Danny Lynn's father. He actually started claiming that even before Anna Nicole passed away, and after she did, he and Howard went head to head in a custody battle, and in the end, the DNA test actually confirmed that Larry was right and he was Danny Lynn's father, not Howard. Larry ended up getting full custody of her, and he has been raising her as a single father ever since. But the second legal case that Howard got involved in was even more shocking. In 2009, he actually got arrested over allegedly being involved in Anna Nicole's passing. Like her son, Anna Nicole passed away from substance-related complications complications. Specifically, the substances in question were some prescription-based medications. She was taking them to fight the depression she had been battling since her son tragically passed away. And the accusations against Howard were that he was one of the people who got these for her. He wasn't the only one accused in the case. Two of Anna Nicole's doctors were right there with him, but it's important to note that none of them were actually accused of intentionally causing Anna Nicole to pass away. The case wasn't even about her passing in itself, but when Howard and the doctors were securing the medication for her, they weren't exactly going by the book about it. The main problem seemed to be that they used fake names on the prescriptions instead of Anna Nicole's real name. According to Howard, this was to try and protect Anna Nicole's privacy so that the media wouldn't find out that she was on that medication. But the thing is, it's just not legal to use a fake name on a prescription like that. And unfortunately, it was these meds that ultimately led to Anna Nicole's passing. In the end, Howard was absolved in the case and didn't face any punishment because it wasn't proven that he meant any harm. But at the same time, it remains a fact that he got the substances for her and was therefore involved in her passing. And you have to ask, what does that mean about his intentions in marrying her in the first place? Did he really love her and want to be with her? Or could there have been a darker motive at play? Well, if you look at all the details, it's actually really unlikely that Howard had any ulterior motive in marrying Anna Nicole. First of all, he couldn't have been after her money because Anna Nicole didn't actually have any money. She never got the share of her second husband's inheritance that she had been fighting for years, and what she earned through her work went right toward her expensive lifestyle. And the thing is, her attorney Howard would have known about all of that. He would have known that there wasn't any real money left to inherit after her. But more importantly, he wasn't even the one who would have gotten whatever little there was, because even though the two of them got married and exchanged rings, the marriage wasn't actually legally binding. They didn't sign a marriage contract, which means that legally they were still only dating even after their marriage ceremony. He didn't actually have any claim to any of Anna Nicole's estate after her passing. All of that ended up going to Danny Lynn, who was still only a baby at that point, and the fact that Howard never showed any signs of having an ulterior motive when it came to Anna Nicole. After he lost the custody battle, Danny Lynn was no longer officially his daughter. He could have just handed her over and left, but instead he and Larry actually worked together to make sure her transition from living with Howard to living with Larry was as smooth as possible. Howard made sure that Larry knew how to do everything, knew what she was used to, and the things she liked. Even though Danny Lynn was just a baby, and she probably would have been fine either way, Howard still cared enough to do that for her. He also paid for the storage of Anna Nicole's personal items for years after her passing. He ended up holding an auction for many of those and gave the rest to Danny Lynn once she was old enough. And he obviously wasn't with Anna Nicole for her fame either. After her passing and all the legal battles, he basically just retreated out of the spotlight. There was no news about him for years. In 2019, it was confirmed that he started working for a police defense firm in LA, and as far as we know, that's where he's still working to this day. But anyway, what do you guys think? What's your opinion on Anna Nicole and Howard's relationship? Let me know in the comments below.